the latest technology being rolled into these models is prone to glitches and bugs. That's the conclusion of a new survey by Consumer Reports detailing the most and least reliable auto brands.
On the outside, trucks are built to look tough. Bold grills, big engines, and the promise that they can handle anything. But what if that rugged pickup sitting in your driveway is secretly a ticking time bomb? What if the very engine you trust to tow, haul, and carry your family could suddenly fail, leaving you with a repair bill bigger than the truck's value? Today, we're counting down 12 trucks that look dependable but hide fatal flaws beneath the surface. From blown transmissions to self-destructing engines, these are the pickups American owners learn to fear. Is your truck on the list? Number 12. Ford Explorer Sport Track, 2001 to 2010. When Ford launched the Explorer Sport Track, it seemed like a perfect idea. The comfort of an SUV with the utility of a pickup bed. Many U.S. families bought them thinking they were getting the best of both worlds. But beneath the clever design was a truck loaded with mechanical landmines. The biggest issue was the transmission. Owners frequently reported hard shifts, slipping gears, or complete transmission failure well before 100,000 miles. Replacements often cost $3,500 to $5,000. And in some cases, the new transmissions didn't last much longer than the originals. Then came the timing chain system on the 4.0-liter V6 engine. The chains were located at the back of the engine, meaning the entire motor had to be pulled just to repair them. That turned what could have been a $1,000 job into a $4,000 to $6,000 nightmare. Add in common electrical glitches, worn suspension components, and rust issues, and the Sport Track quickly earned a reputation as a money pit. What made it worse was that many buyers saw it as a practical, family-friendly truck. Instead, they found themselves stranded on the side of the road or staring at bills that rivaled the truck's resale value. For a vehicle meant to combine SUV comfort and pickup toughness, the Sport Track quietly became a symbol of disappointment. And if you thought the Sport Track was bad, the next truck looked like a solid mid-size workhorse, but came with one of the weakest engines General Motors ever built. Number 11. Chevy Colorado/GMC Canyon, 2004 to 2012. The first-generation Chevy Colorado and its twin, the GMC Canyon, were marketed as practical mid-size trucks for people who didn't need a full-size pickup. On paper, they seemed like a great option: smaller size, affordable price, and enough utility for light-duty work. But under the hood, they hid one of GM's most frustrating engines. The 3.5-liter and 3.7-liter inline-5 engines sounded unique, but turned out to be deeply flawed. They suffered from valve seat failures, cracked cylinder heads, and misfires that left owners with costly repairs. Rebuilding or replacing these engines could cost $4,000 to $6,000, often more than the truck's value on the used market. The transmissions weren't much better. Many owners reported slipping gears or harsh shifting, with repairs running another $2,500 to $4,000. Add to that electrical problems like failing ignition switches and random dashboard failures, and the Colorado Canyon quickly earned a reputation for being unreliable. Rust also plagued these trucks, especially in northern states where road salt ate through frames and brake lines. What was supposed to be an affordable, dependable mid-size truck became a constant source of frustration. For older U.S. buyers who remembered the durability of the Chevy S10, The Colorado was a huge letdown. Instead of a tough little workhorse, they got a truck that often quit before the job was done. But if you think GM dropped the ball, our next truck will surprise you. Because even Toyota, famous for reliability, built a full-size pickup with some serious hidden flaws. Number 10. Toyota Tundra, 2007 to 2010, 5.7-liter V8. When Toyota entered the full-size truck market with the Tundra, it wanted to challenge Ford, Chevy, and Ram on their home turf. The second-generation Tundra, launched in 2007, looked like a serious competitor. A big 5.7-liter V8, impressive towing capacity, and Toyota's reputation for reliability. At first, it won over plenty of American buyers. But beneath that strong reputation were some very expensive problems. The most notorious issue was the cam tower oil leak on the 5.7-liter V8. This wasn't a simple gasket replacement. The engine had to be pulled apart, and repairs often ran $5,000 to $7,000. Many owners were shocked that a Toyota engine could fail so catastrophically and so early. Then came the air injection pump system, part of the emissions equipment. When it failed, and it often did, trucks went into limp mode, leaving owners unable to drive normally. Replacements could cost $2,000 to $3,500, and in some cases, failures happened under 60,000 miles. Other issues included drive shaft vibration, early transmission problems, and brake wear on heavier trims. While the Tundra overall was more reliable than some domestic rivals, these hidden flaws made it one of the costliest Toyotas to own when things went wrong. For U.S. buyers who expected Toyota bulletproof dependability, the Tundra's problems came as a shock. What looked like a truck that could run forever sometimes became a time bomb with a repair bill bigger than the monthly truck payment. And if Toyota's issues surprised you, wait until you see the next truck. A Nissan pickup that seemed rugged but destroyed itself from the rear axle out. Number 9. Nissan Titan, 2004 to 2015. When Nissan launched the Titan in 2004, it was supposed to be their big push into the American full-size truck market. On paper, it had what buyers wanted: a powerful 5.6-liter V8, bold styling, and a lower price than the Big Three. At first, U.S. truck fans were curious, but over time, the Titan earned a reputation not as a tough competitor, but as a money-draining headache. The biggest disaster was the rear axle and differential failures. Owners reported grinding noises, vibrations, and even total axle failure, sometimes at less than 60,000 miles. Repairing or replacing the rear end often cost $3,500 to $5,000, and many owners experienced repeat failures. The transmission wasn't much better. Hard shifts, slipping gears, and overheating were common complaints. A rebuild or replacement could easily run $3,000 to $4,500. Add in weak radiators and failing cooling systems, and you had a recipe for trucks that couldn't handle heavy towing without braking. Rust was another issue, especially in northern states. Frames, brake lines, and undercarriage parts deteriorated quickly. For a truck marketed as rugged, the Titan often fell apart faster than buyers expected. Nissan updated the Titan later, but by then, the damage to its reputation was done. Many American buyers learned the hard way that this import alternative wasn't as tough as it looked. But while Nissan's Titan collapsed from the rear axle back, the next truck had a different problem. Its frame rusted so badly that many literally broke in half. Number 8. Dodge Dakota, 2000 to 2011. The Dodge Dakota was a unique truck in the U.S. market. Bigger than a compact, smaller than a full-size, it seemed like the perfect middle ground. For years, it attracted buyers who wanted truck capability without the bulk, but as it aged, the Dakota became known less for practicality and more for catastrophic failures. The most infamous problem was rust and frame rot. In many states, Dakotas simply didn't hold up. Frames, cross members, and suspension mounts rusted so badly that trucks became unsafe to drive. Some owners reported seeing their trucks literally snap in half when lifted on a jack. The transmissions were also weak points. Both the automatic and manual gearboxes were prone to failure, often requiring replacements at $2,500 to $4,000. Add in common ball joint and front suspension issues, and Dakotas became regular visitors at repair shops. Engines weren't bulletproof either. The popular 4.7-liter V8 developed oil sludge problems and head gasket failures, leading to repairs in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. What made the Dakota particularly frustrating for U.S. buyers was that it filled such a useful niche. Many older drivers loved the idea of a mid-sized truck with real towing capacity, but constant breakdowns and rust meant that keeping one on the road became a financial nightmare. In 2011, Dodge finally discontinued the Dakota. Few people were surprised. By then, its reputation as a time bomb was sealed. And while the Dakota rusted away, the next truck on our list came from America's best-selling nameplate, but carried one of the most infamous engines in pickup history. Number 7. Ford F-150, 2004 to 2008, 5.4-liter Triton 5.8. The Ford F-Series has been America's best-selling vehicle for over 40 years. But even the king of trucks had a dark chapter, and it came in the form of the 5.4-liter Triton V8, used in the 2004 to 2008 F-150. On paper, it looked strong, offering plenty of towing power. In practice, it became one of the most feared engines Ford ever built. The most notorious issue was the cam phaser failure. These variable valve timing components rattled, failed, and eventually destroyed the top end of the engine. Repairs often ran $3,500 to $6,000, and some owners needed complete engine replacements. Then there were the spark plug disasters. The 5.4-liter was designed with a flawed two-piece spark plug setup that either seized in the cylinder head or broke off during replacement. Mechanics dreaded working on these engines, and owners were stuck with repair bills of $800 to $1,500 just for a spark plug change, something that should have cost a fraction of that. Timing chain tensioner failures, oil leaks, and weak fuel pumps added to the misery. Transmissions weren't bulletproof either, with many failing under heavy towing. For many U.S. truck owners, this was heartbreaking. The F-150 was supposed to be rock solid, but the 5.4-liter Triton era left a black mark on Ford's reputation. Even today, used truck buyers are warned. If it's got the 5.4 Triton, think twice. If Ford's time bomb was under the hood, the next truck's problems ran deeper. From transmissions to rear differentials, this Ram had owners swearing off the brand for good. Number 6. Ram 1500, 2011 to 2016. The Ram 1500 is beloved for its smooth ride, bold styling, and powerful Hemi engines. In fact, for many American truck buyers, the Ram became a stylish alternative to the Ford F-150 and Chevy Silverado. But for owners of the 2011 to 2016 models, smooth quickly turned into sinking, as this generation carried some of the most frustrating mechanical issues ever seen in a half-ton pickup. One of the biggest culprits was the transmission. The 6-speed automatics were prone to harsh shifting, slipping, and early failure. When Ram introduced the new 8-speed, things didn't get much better. Many owners reported jerky performance and sudden breakdowns. Replacements often cost $4,000 to $6,000, and rebuilds didn't always solve the issues. The rear differential was another notorious weak spot. Whining noises, leaks, and eventual failures plagued owners, sometimes requiring complete replacements in the $3,500 to $5,000 range. Even the engines weren't safe. The 5.7-liter Hemi suffered from lifter and camshaft failures, a common FCA issue, leading to ticking noises and eventual catastrophic engine damage. Repairs typically ran $5,000 to $8,000, and many owners faced these problems before 100,000 miles. Electronics were also a constant headache. From failing infotainment systems to random dashboard warnings, the Ram kept mechanics busy with electrical gremlins. For U.S. buyers who wanted a stylish, comfortable truck, the Ram 1500 looked like a winner. But for those stuck paying repair bills, it felt more like a ticking time bomb. And if Ram's problems rattled owners, our next truck hit even harder. GM's most popular half-ton pickup that came loaded with an engine designed to fail from day one. Number 5. Chevy Silverado 1500, 2007 to 2013, AFM engines. The Chevy Silverado 1500 is America's workhorse. For decades, it's been one of the most popular full-size pickups on U.S. roads. But between 2007 and 2013, GM equipped many Silverados with an innovation that turned out to be a disaster. Active Fuel Management, AFM. AFM was designed to improve fuel economy by shutting off half the cylinders under light loads. In theory, it was clever. In practice, it destroyed engines. Owners experienced collapsed lifters, worn camshafts, and oil consumption problems that led to catastrophic failure. Repair bills often ran $4,000 to $7,000, and many trucks needed complete engine replacements. The 5.3-liter V8 was hit hardest, with thousands of owners reporting ticking noises, misfires, and sudden loss of power. Even routine maintenance like spark plugs and coils didn't prevent the inevitable. Beyond the engine, these trucks also suffered from transmission failures and electrical issues. The 4L60E and 6L80 transmissions were known to fail under towing loads, with repairs costing $3,500 to $5,000. Rust was another silent killer, especially in northern states. Frames, brake lines, and rocker panels corroded quickly, sometimes making trucks unsafe even when the engine was still running. The worst part? These Silverados looked like bargains on the used market. Many Americans picked one up cheap, only to discover that their deal came with hidden repair bills that cost more than the truck itself. And while the half-ton Silverados were bad, things only got worse when you moved up to GM's heavy-duty lineup, where one diesel engine became infamous for grenading itself without warning. Number 4. GMC Sierra 2500 HD, 2011 to 2016, Duramax LML. The GMC Sierra 2500HD, along with its Chevy Silverado HD Twin, has long been a favorite among U.S. truck buyers who need heavy-duty towing power. And with the Duramax diesel engine, it seemed unstoppable. But the 2011 to 2016 LML Duramax came with a fatal flaw that made it one of the scariest engines GM ever built. The culprit? The Bosch CP4 fuel injection pump. This pump was supposed to improve efficiency, but instead, it often self-destructed. When it failed, it didn't just stop working. It sent metal shavings through the entire fuel system. That meant destroyed injectors, fuel lines, rails, and sometimes even the engine itself. The repair bill? Anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000, and in some cases, over $15,000. To make matters worse, failures often weren't covered under warranty, leaving owners with shocking out-of-pocket costs. Beyond the CP4 disaster, the LML trucks also had issues with emissions equipment. Diesel particulate filters, DPFs, EGR systems, and DEF systems all caused headaches, with repairs often costing thousands. For heavy-duty truck owners, reliability is everything. These are workhorses meant to tow trailers, haul loads, and handle long miles. But for many Americans, the LML Duramax became a liability. A truck that should have been dependable instead became a financial time bomb waiting to explode. And if you thought GM's diesel problems were bad, just wait. The next truck on our list is infamous. The Ford Super Duty with the 6.0-liter Power Stroke. A motor so bad, it became a punchline among mechanics. Number 3. Ford Super Duty 6.0-liter Power Stroke, 2003 to 2007. Few engines in truck history are as infamous as Ford's 6.0-liter Power Stroke diesel. Introduced in 2003, it was supposed to be a leap forward in power and technology. Instead, it became one of the most problematic diesel engines ever sold in America. For owners of F-250 and F-350 Super Duty trucks, the 6.0-liter was less a workhorse and more a financial time bomb. The biggest problems were head gasket failures and EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, cooler breakdowns. The head bolts simply weren't strong enough to hold under boost, causing repeated gasket blowouts. Repairs often required pulling the cab off the truck, costing $4,000 to $8,000. The EGR coolers cracked regularly, leading to coolant loss and catastrophic engine damage. Turbocharger failures were another nightmare. Sticky vanes, oil leaks, and complete turbo failure were common, with replacements costing $2,000 to $4,000. Add in faulty fuel injectors, high-pressure oil pump issues, and endless electronic gremlins, and the 6.0-liter quickly earned the nickname the 6.0 No. While some owners bulletproofed their 6.0-liter Power Strokes with thousands of dollars in aftermarket upgrades, most buyers weren't prepared for the massive costs of keeping them running. For many, it was the most expensive mistake they ever made. And if the 6.0-liter was bad, the next truck proved that even one of the most legendary diesel names in America could stumble hard. Number 2. Ram 2500/3500, 2007 to 2012, 6.7-liter Cummins. The Cummins diesel has long been a badge of pride for Ram owners. Known for legendary durability, torque, and towing power, the Cummins name carried weight in the truck world. But when the 6.7-liter version launched in 2007, Emissions regulations forced changes that turned this once bulletproof engine into a money pit. The most notorious problems were with the EGR and DPF systems. Exhaust gas recirculation coolers clogged, diesel particulate filters failed, and engines went into limp mode at the worst times. Repairs often cost $2,000 to $5,000, and failures could happen repeatedly. Turbochargers were another weak link. The variable geometry turbos on early 6.7 liters often failed well before 100,000 miles, costing $3,000 to $4,500 for replacements. Head gasket failures also became more common, with repairs easily topping $4,000 to $6,000. Even the transmissions behind these engines weren't invincible. The 68 RFE automatic struggled with heavy towing, leading to rebuilds in the $3,500 to $5,000 range. For older U.S. truck buyers who had trusted Cummins for decades, this generation was a painful disappointment. While later versions of the 6.7 improved, the 2007 to 2012 trucks were time bombs that left many owners stranded with shocking repair bills. But if the 6.7 Cummins was a letdown, nothing compares to our #1 truck, a Ford diesel so disastrous that even Ford loyalists swore they'd never buy one again. Number 1, Ford Super Duty 6.4-liter Power Stroke, 2008 to 2010. At the top of our list is the 6.4-liter Power Stroke, found in Ford Super Duty trucks between 2008 and 2010. If the 6.0-liter was bad, the 6.4-liter was catastrophic. In fact, it's often called one of the worst diesel engines ever put in an American truck. On paper, it sounded great: twin turbos, more power, and cleaner emissions. But in practice, it was a mechanical disaster. The EGR and DPF systems constantly clogged, leading to overheating and repeated failures. Turbochargers blew out regularly, costing $4,000 to $6,000 each. Fuel dilution was another killer. The engine's design caused diesel fuel to leak into the oil, thinning it out and destroying bearings. Many engines needed complete rebuilds before 100,000 miles. Replacements often ran $10,000 to $15,000, sometimes more than the value of the truck itself. Even when working, the 6.4 guzzled fuel and burned through maintenance costs. Owners described it as a truck that seemed designed to fail, and many Ford dealers refused to warranty repairs after repeated breakdowns. For U.S. buyers who trusted Ford's Super Duty lineup for towing and work, the 6.4-liter Power Stroke was the ultimate betrayal. It looked tough, but under the hood, it was a grenade with the pin already pulled. And there you have it, 12 trucks that might look rugged on the outside, but hide devastating flaws beneath the surface. From transmissions that collapse under load to diesel engines that destroy themselves, these pickups prove that not every truck is built to last. Some of them were marketed as workhorses, others as family haulers, but all of them share one thing in common: they became time bombs for unlucky owners. Which of these trucks shocked you the most? Did you ever own one? Drop your story in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more car stories every week.